Hansel and Gretel. Today we are going to read out a story of Hansel and Gretel.
Mama.
So, there is once upon a time, what happened? Hansel and Gretel lived in a tiny cottage. That was their house. And the father and the mother and the cruel stepmother, she was not the real mother, she was very, very cruel. She used to ask the children to work, broom the house, get the stuff from the garden. The stepmother said, "There are too many mouths to feed." Their stepmother told the woodcutter, "Take the children miles from the house, so far that they cannot ever come back," she said to the husband. Overhearing the conversation, Hansel slipped off the house and filled his pockets with some bread and pebbles and then went back to the bed. All night long, the woodcutter and his wife went on at her husband, and her husband went out in the jungle. The next day, Hansel and Gretel get away in the forest to drop them in the forest. As they walked through the trees, Hansel dropped the pebbles here and there. As they walked through the door and the trees around the forest, Hansel dropped the pebbles here and there so that they could return back to the home, searching the pebbles. Suddenly, the children found themselves alone, and the woodcutter had left. Their father left the children in the jungle, in the forest, and the father went away. Alone as the woodcutter slipped away. "Don't cry, I'll take you home. Even if father does not come, I'll take you home," the brother said. Quickly, the moon came up in the sky, and luckily, that was a full night and there was a bright moon, so that they could see their way, right? There was natural light. And they started walking with the pebbles. "How do we go?" They searched the pebbles. Now from the window they came inside quietly, and half open window, without awaking their parents. When the stepmother discovered that Hansel and Gretel had returned home, she was mad and screaming on them all day, with all a sip of water and a stale bread she gave them to eat. When down came the woodcutter, led the children out in the forest. Hansel, however, had not eaten the bread. He walked through the trees and left the breadcrumbs. Look, he left the breadcrumbs. But suddenly what happened? Again the children found themselves in the jungle alone. But Hansel whispered to Gretel, "I have an idea. I have put the breads. We can go back again." Sadly, the little boy had forgotten about the hungry animals. No time at all. The crumbs all had been eaten up with the animals.